Meeting held Monday, October 21st, 2024 at 5:30 PM. Roll call since we do have some guests with us.
Absolutely. Stephanie Finnegan.
Jim Thornblum.
Laura Backus.
And Dan Russell. Council, you have before you the agenda, which will be discussed this evening, the liquor store operations and manager hiring.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So, I'm not sure, council, how you want to proceed with this. You do have the job description in front of you. You also have the liquor store, what we can expect out of a liquor store manager, and along with some other papers. So would one of you like to start the meeting or talk about anything? You also have Brenda from the MBA's letter. And as you know, Brenda was here as well, she met with us it was three of us, I think, or four, she met with us, but she made some suggestions. So, anybody want to start? Go right ahead.
I guess the only thing I wanted to, when we talk about doing the liquor store hiring, I know Tim, that's your department.
Yep.
I'd like to have our crystal clear who is sitting in on the interviews, because there seemed to have been some discrepancy last time. Somebody had a problem with, I think it's up to you, Tim, would you like to have Angela there as an HR person? Would you rather have someone else? Because that was a point of contention and I don't wanna go through that again, so.
No, I think Angela should be there for sure.
Okay.
And I think we should have more than just me from the council on that.
Okay.
Especially for this supervisor position, right?
Yeah.
Before we had a supervisor with the maintenance department.
Right.
Had a supervisor there to help, you know, with other questions.
So, I'll just
It's
ask,
gonna be hard to get all of us together to do interviews.
so you mean like the whole council?
Yep. What's that?
You mean the whole council or just two or
I
three?
mean, I guess it doesn't have to be the whole council, but at least three of us, I would think. Then we'd have to post it.
For it, yeah. Which is
Maybe
fine,
then.
so.
Well, you're right in saying we don't want to
We
go through.
got a quorum there then.
Right.
Well, may I throw in an option of the fact, when you're looking at hiring someone, do you potentially have you and whoever go through the we're gonna say we get 10 applications. Do you go through those 10 applications, weed out the 2 to 3 that are the best, and at that point, bring in HR, bring in your more people from council,
Right.
stuff like that?
For sure.
So is it your intention, we're gonna post this and we're going to take them through November 8th?
Yep.
And then we'll hire, so in the interim, we won't have someone hired. That would be the only other question I have is going forward, like who is going to be doing the schedule and the day-to-day operations, because there won't be from
Fourth.
the 4th, okay.
So Reni's last day is the 4th.
Okay.
Correct.
Are you saying to have somebody,
Yeah, what are we gonna do for?
this
Because
doesn't
it's a-
close till the 8th?
Right.
Right, but that's when the interviews, or that's when the applications,
Right.
so it's gonna be another 3 weeks after that or better
Right.
before we have somebody.
Is there a reason why the 8th is on here? Does it have to be that long?
No, Tim and I just talked about when we should have it, and part of it was how much time you had to get it in the paper, in
So
the
what do you
time frames
need
of
to-
how it was, and we feel like it would be long enough if we went to like November 1st,
Okay.
so that's only a couple weeks, so that's why we chose the 8th, which
Okay.
does put it out there.
Okay.
So we had a conversation about it, and in the ad, we didn't put a wage in there, which I talked to Tim about that, do you want a wage or not, but we decided to just leave it out at this point.
Negotiable.
Right.
Right, and it did say depending on experience in there, you can see the ad that we put in there.
Okay.
It could be, you know, we could extend the deadline, I would say probably can't shorten it. I mean, I could put another ad in if you want it longer, but I think 3 weeks is
Well,
probably long enough, and
Yeah, I don't know that we wanna extend it, we would need to get, cause what is, like Angela from the bookkeeping part of it, how do you see it, day-to-day operations running after the 4th?
well, I mean, there could be some suggestions. I think you should somehow name some interim person, whether that means they're gonna be doing deposits, some book work, you know, if they're gonna be ordering or doing the scheduling. You still have employees out there, so, I mean, I would suggest if you wanted to have like Lynette do some of the deposits, do some of the book work stuff, kind of be involved in it a little bit more, if you'd rather have a bartender down there take care of that. Depends how much you guys wanna have us involved in kind of what's going on. You know, we could take the till tapes, you know, just have them put in the drawer and just do the deposits, or have them do it and just print it up like they do now. Otherwise, so we have the schedule and then do ordering, you know, of product, so in that time frame, whether that's somebody down there or a combination of the two, you know, that could be. You would have to name somebody. I jotted a few notes about that too. I mean, just having some type of person to do that. I mean, you should probably look at changing the safe combination locks, alarm system codes and all that when this happens.
Right, well, that, I mean,
Obviously,
that would
that's
just
gonna
be
be
standard.
something you have to do. I did have, just so you know, like the packet I gave you, I did reach out to that Brenda, but she had done this MMDA report, so she sent this email. I just asked her for some suggestions. They do this, they deal with liquor all the time, we don't. What does she think? And she had, came back, the first job description is the current one, she had just did a little revamping on it. If you like that, you wanna change it, now's the time to update the job description as to what you feel you'd like to have changed. I would like the council to just review that and we'd approve it, you know, before we're hiring somebody. Then she also had this liquor store operation work plan. This was just something she had where you put down, it looks kind of complicated, but you're putting down like some goals you have. So marketing goals, objective goals, things you'd like to see done. It doesn't have to be as complicated as this. This is something she had put together for another city. With some steps as far as events she has in there, signage, you know, advertising.
Well, it wasn't part of this in her report though too. I
Yeah,
remember
she had
seeing
said something about that, and then she had given this business summary report, which is basically blank here, but she had different stores, so it was more of a snapshot for the council to have, maybe having some things that say gross sales, you know, with variations, transactions, donations and things, and then kind of some events, so it kind of just keeps you updated. That was just her suggestion. She also had a cycle count suggestion where each month you do a different product, you know. Whether you like them ideas or not, that's totally up to you.
Tim, have you been to the liquor store lately? I mean, have you asked?
I stopped in there Tuesday.
Are things still the same as the way Brenda reset it when she was there?
Oh,
Or do you?
I can't tell you that for
There's all the
sure.
wines in one area, all the, like Brenda
Like
said.
Brenda, well, I think Reedy went through with the, like, her wine salesman and beer salesman and reset it a little bit different than when Brenda did it.
Okay,
And I don't remember what the reasoning was, there's whatever. And it made sense
Yep.
to me what they did
sure.
with the wine salesman, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
The salesmen, that's their jobs, they go and reset stuff all the time.
Right.
Yeah, that's, as far as I know, it changed a little bit from the way Brenda did it,
Okay.
but I don't know if it's all exactly the same now.
So if I'm looking at this right, what we basically want to do is look for somebody to be an interim until we can hire, or we get the right person that we want to be the liquor store manager. Okay. So, any thoughts, any ideas, do we probably don't have to decide that tonight, or do you wanna decide that tonight, or do you wanna ask more questions, or?
Well, don't you, as the liaison, can you go down there and maybe have a meeting?
Right.
See if there's people.
I should call Jeff too, since he's,
No, how long is he off? He's off for,
Well, what I know is the 23rd, you're supposed to have a checkup and see what they would say, if he is light duty or if he still has a few more weeks, so we don't really know
okay.
how much he can.
and if he, I mean, since he is our full-time bartender down there, he might be a good one for interim, especially if he's on light duty, and I'll call and talk to him. See, well, I won't ask him anything, I'll call and talk to him and see what
Okay,
his thoughts are, I guess.
okay, so are there any other questions, any concerns? I guess one concern is gonna be the pull tabs and that, are we also gonna need to, right now we have Nelson's Men's Club, are they gonna continue to?
I would
We would
imagine,
have no reason to.
I understand that, though,
otherwise.
but who's gonna count the pull tabs in the morning once Reed's
well, we
gone?
can talk to them tonight,
Okay,
right? And I think we should just tell them that they have to count.
okay,
I don't remember there was a price tag on that. I don't think it was a whole lot, but
yeah, Rini always told me that if she counts the pull tabs, they get 20%. If she doesn't, and Nelson's Men's Club has to come in, that'll cut down to 15%.
Right.
That's the last conversation I had with Rini about that. So,
right, and I think we talked about to figure out what that actual price difference was. Suppose it's different every month for pull tab, or every whatever for pull tabs, but it's gotta be worth 5% to not count them. I would think.
I would think so, plus the hours, plus the wages.
I don't know. We can talk to them tonight about that.
Okay,
I guess I'll have to read, I wanna read through this better and make notes and.
Is this the one from Brenda? Or which one is this one?
it's the one that says from Brenda.
Here.
Well, I get that one, but I have liquor store and then, never mind,
Job
got ahead of myself. My balls.
So, are we good with just giving Tim some direction on the interim, because we won't have another council meeting before? You can meet with,
Is that something we can,
Or, I hate to put Tim on the spot, but
yeah,
do you feel that's something you wanna undertake at this time?
I mean, if you guys are okay with it, I just don't wanna make a decision and everybody's mad at me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, technically, you guys should appoint who you want interim, so whether that means giving him some homework and having another meeting to discuss a little bit of this. Like, the job description, if you feel you wanna change it or not change it, I mean, that's something that we should decide before you're hiring somebody too. I mean, so, there might be some things where you need to maybe meet again.
Okay, let's ask this question. If Jeff didn't wanna do it, can't do it, like we go down the line to part-timers, well, how does that work for insurance, like if they're an interim
Well,
manager?
it depends how long you name it for, if it's just a short time. I don't know if you would offer insurance, depending on what you're gonna do. That's what I
I
said,
suppose
a
we-
combination where you could do book work, or maybe they're just ordering and doing a schedule in addition, and you give them a little bit more of a wage to do those extra things for that time frame.
Right.
And depending on how long you're looking to do this, it might be different, so.
I know Jeff was kind of doing some of that stuff already,
Yeah.
am I right?
Right,
Okay. So,
yeah, and I think he could step in and do it, you know, figure it out, and then, like, if we had Angela and Lynette and whoever help out with deposits in the mornings and,
Do you know when Lynette be up to helping out?
I asked her if she would,
Okay.
you know, do something like that if we need to for the time frame, she said, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the other thing is with the interviews, the MMBA, you know, Brenda or somebody would sit in on the interviews with us if we wanted to have, you know, another person that deals with it, even interview questions, they would suggest some of those, so that's something you can think about if you want their involvement, how much you want or how little you want, you know, as a resource.
I'm okay either way, whatever you guys decide, I'm fine.
And I think it'd be awesome to have her there, but I'm trying to, like, how are we gonna get everybody
We're just
together
gonna
at the right time, you know?
Well, typically, you know what, you would, let's say, get your 5, 6 applicants, you'd say, we're doing interviews on Thursday from 2 to 5, what slot can you fit in?
Okay.
You stay here, you don't try to
Right.
work around their schedule, I know it's inconvenient, but if they want to do it, they try to work out whatever job they have, and they make the interviews, and so,
I suppose, yeah.
that's what I would say. What, and I'm just picking a time, I mean,
Right,
just
yeah.
what works, yeah.
Okay, I like that. So, I'll call Jeff, see what his thoughts are.
Do we need to make any of this in the form of a motion so that everything is,
I'd give Tim the authority of what you'd like him to do, and like I said, you bring, if he wants to bring it all the back, and then we have a meeting
okay?
to finalize it.
Yeah, I suppose we got, I mean, well, it's not a long time, but.
I'll make the motion to give Tim the authority to move forward with this, and if you need to call another meeting to discuss this, if we have to, before our next council meeting, then that's how we do it.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Maybe just in the meantime, we look over, give these a good look over too, since we just got these in our back. And
Okay, Angela, is there any other discussion that, I know it's not on the agenda, but you had possibly had some, or if you don't want to at this time, that's fine too.
I think, I just jotted notes out, I see. I think we covered most everything that I had as far as reports, MMDA, cycle counts, so I covered all the things that I had kind of jotted down for it. Other than if the council wanted to have any type of, information or press release that would go out because of our last meeting. Is there any thoughts on just clearing the air? Giving the facts?
So,
Yeah,
like, is there something that our attorney would write up just so that it's clear, or?
Right, yeah. Like he'd write some up based on some of the stuff, and, you know, legalities wise is we can only discuss certain things, obviously publicly, and so sometimes things are left unsaid because you are allowed to only talk about certain things publicly, and so sometimes it's, has to be that way,
Right.
unfortunately. So, like he did, you know, draft something up that was just kind of touch on some of the things that maybe people are concerned about, but just a thought.
and that would go in the paper like a press release type
Right,
thing?
yeah.
I think it's a good idea, given the hostility of the last meeting. I think it's a good idea to just, the facts are the facts, put it out there.
Right.
yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
The one question, and this is still pertaining to the liquor store, the MMA report, I know this is just part of it. Is there, how much of that is public knowledge? Is it public
Yeah,
knowledge in its entirety?
I would not say that, because there are some things, when you get in the first part of it, I did actually print it out here, you can probably look at it, but it does get into some more detail about staff and some discussions that happened if you read it. That I would say you'd want to probably share. You know, so some of these things about, like the front page, the profits, you know, where everything's at, I think that's fine. Get into some of the questions she had about things, maybe it's fine, but then, she does get into a little bit about some statements or questions that were happened and what happened at a few of the things she observed, so I would say not those things, you know, so.
If you could just, if you're contacting the attorney about the press release, if you could ask them which parts would need to be, blackened out, because everyone was screaming transparency at the last meeting, and I have no problem, whoever wants to read that, so whatever parts that need to be blacked out, and I think we let anyone who wants a copy get a copy of it, because everybody seems to think that we're hiding something, and that was a big report that she came to help with to try to make her liquor store more profitable, so, if you could check on that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we don't need any motions on that or anything. Are we gonna take questions? Can we?
That's totally up to you, you're not required to.
Okay.
Comment, but that's,
Well, if
you're
we,
running the meeting.
I know. Are you guys okay with that? I guess if we do have questions or concerns, let's keep it so that we don't.
We have a 6 o'clock meeting.
We have
so-
another 6 o'clock meeting. Let's not get into any arguments. We've got enough of those. Right now, the city is in turmoil, the way I look at it. We got people posting stuff out there. We've got different things going on. There's a lot of animosity, and I think we do have the right, if it does get to that point, to just cut it off. But if you guys are okay with it, I'm okay with it. Randy, you have your hand.
Mine's more of a comment. We talked about the MMBA. There were a lot of help last time we went through trying to hire, and you didn't try to drive the bus. They just gave very good third hand or neutral comments each way. I just wanted to say that if you're considering it, I thought it was a much help. You did a lot.
I thought Brenda was great. I really did. I got to work with her for like 3 days, 2 days, whatever she was here, and then she came and gave that report. I thought she had a lot of really good information that would help us. So. Okay.
If I can just express a concern to the council, whether it needs to be a workshop or something, I'm just very concerned that this is our 3rd employee in like 6 months that have decided to terminate employment with us. If we can maybe just sit and talk sometime about how we can do better. I know we talk about it frequently. I don't know the right answer. I'm hoping 5 heads together could maybe help it. I'm just very concerned with a lot of stuff that's going on. I just, we had a meeting to discuss this, which is fabulous, but the other 2, I know one is kind of tabled for right now, and the first one really didn't have much of a discussion other than what was presented to us at the council meeting.
If I could just chime in on this. A lot, and I did have some discussion with Chad on this after the last meeting. A lot of the turmoil, animosity, whatever we want to call it, obviously started about 7 years ago, okay? You were still on the council at that time, or
No.
you were shortly after that you came in. Okay, so it was 4 years ago that I came in, that Al came in, that you came in, and the turmoil just seemed to go from there, but it stemmed from things that happened 7 years ago that people would just not let go, okay? Now, for whatever reason, it just snowballed into more. Now, I do specifically remember us talking about clearing the air, talking about different things, and we did that, and that lasted for about a month and a half to 2 months, and then it went right back to the same thing. So, I mean,
We did do that at the supervisor meeting,
Yes.
everyone had their opportunity to
and
talk,
then we
and I
went,
think Angela had pointed out, she was the only one who tried to clear the air, so we can continue to have meeting after meeting, but if nobody is willing to say really what they think the root of the problem is, then, I mean, we can't make people say
Right.
something that.
I think we all know the root of the problem. There's only certain people that are willing to talk about it. Some people they don't want to say anything for fear of retaliation, and that's totally fine. I'm not afraid to talk about it because I know the truth, and we should all know the truth. But, I mean, in the different meetings that I've been in on this whole incident that happened 7 years ago, there's people still being crucified for that today. And it just keeps on going and going and going. So, and I'm not saying it was
Nope, and
the people that came on 4 years ago, because I came on 4 years ago. But we've had an influx of a lot of issues that people were uninformed, and it was just like blaming and this and that, and you said this and you said that, but they were uninformed because of some of the things that we can't talk about. So anyhow, if we want to move forward with that kind of a discussion amongst us, I welcome that. Because you've been in on some of the conversations with me, and you know you know the truth, we all know the truth. Some people are just afraid to let go and talk. So, but our beautiful city we have here is never gonna get any better if we don't do that. And I said that from day one, and we've met several times about that. What can we do better? And we walk out of those doors, and a week, not even a week, that same night, wow, somebody's getting crucified on Facebook, or somebody is this, or he said that, or, and we've been through a lot of them. And you can't hide those facts. So.
Thank you, that was just what I wanted to
Can I say
know.
one thing to that, Dan? This is something, I deal with a lot of different cities and talk to a lot of different clerks, and as much as it's hard to deal with this, there's a lot of cities that are going through the same stuff. Because people are different. Things are different. Look at Long Prairie, the school district, and all the things that happen there, and they're having meetings and people walking out and protesting. It's just not the same as it used to be. People are different. So things are different. So we need to figure out how to adjust our way of doing things. Because people react different than they used to.
Well,
We're not the only ones.
I would say in light of our next meeting, we
Appreciate
for
it.
that,
Thank you.
and I would make a motion to adjourn this meeting, because we're gonna start our next meeting in about 3 minutes.
Okay, just so I'm clear, Steph, you wanted to have a meeting for us to talk about all these things?
Sometime. It doesn't need to be right now. I know there's a lot of stuff going up in the air, and I want to be time sensitive
Sure.
to these guys too.
Oh, yeah.
We can always talk about it another time, but
Okay.
it would just be nice to even just regroup our thoughts of,
That's a great idea.
especially coming with this new person on, of how to keep them going with the right track, and, same with the current positions that we've hired, keep them going the right positive track, and
Well, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
thank you guys.
Okay, sorry.
I'm a second motion.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.